Hi, and welcome to week 2. This week we're covering chapter 2 and chapter 3. And I'm doing a very short overview this week, recording from my home or my office at UW Oshkosh this week. Want to talk to you just about a couple of topics, and these are very busy chapters. Chapter 2, as I wrote this morning in my news item, discussion news item on Canvas, Chapter 2 really lays a lot of the groundwork for IS. A lot of good information in here. This is what I probably spend a couple of weeks on in my intro to IS course for my undergraduate, sophomore, junior students. We're going through that whole chapter as well as chapter 3, which really focuses on data management, business intelligence, all in 1 week. So a lot of fun, exciting things here to think about. A couple of the images I really like out of chapter 2 I want to talk about. I'm not going to put them up here, but I want to talk about are really what makes an information system. I want to spend just a couple of minutes. I know we jump into the weeds here in chapter 2 and especially in chapter 3, but I want us to really think about what is an information system. That being, not just the hardware and software, and I think that's what we often think about. We think about the computer, the camera, we think about those kinds of things. We don't always think about the other aspects. So we have hardware, we have software, we have networks. We also have people, and we also have the processes or procedures, as our textbook calls it. So people, process, hardware, software, network, and then, of course, data really make an information system. In my undergraduate course, I give a little bit different model. I talk about a socio-technical information system. That being, there is both a technical aspect. Again, we would talk about hardware, software, networking, and data, and a social side of things, social, technical, and the social being the procedures and the people and the interactions that occur. And that's really important to understand when we think about information system, of all of those aspects of the information system, not just the technical side of it. So I like to just highlight that and have folks really think about that. The other image I think is really interesting is that data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. And there's a little bit of an eye chart that shows that, but I think that picture does a nice job. And again, just to highlight here, you think about, and we move into chapter 3 where we really talk about data and data management and business intelligence. Our organizations collect a great deal of data, even big data, both structured and unstructured data. We're collecting so much data now. But how do we get to a point where we can actually use that information to solve problems? We have to go through this data transformation, and that's not a technical term. We have to have data, which we're collecting. We have to have information, which is data in context. What's the context of that data? We have to have data in context. Ultimately, we end up with knowledge, which answers how, as our textbook states. I think about that as an informed understanding. When we reach knowledge, we have an informed understanding. And when we reach wisdom, we have the ability to apply knowledge to solve problems. So we move from data all the way up to wisdom. And that's important to understand. And systems can help us with that. Business intelligence, AI can start moving towards that. But there's a huge human element in being able to understand data in context, being able to have an informed understanding of how to apply. And then ultimately the wisdom to say, let's use this knowledge and information and data to actually solve problems. And so I think that's really, really important to understand and think about. There's some interesting topics in this chapter 2 I would ask you to explore a little bit. That enterprise architecture idea versus simple IT infrastructure and IT architecture. Thinking about EA, enterprise architecture. If you start looking around your organization, you may find that you have a team now. You have individuals that are focused on the enterprise architecture. And that is a special, very new, real hot topic in technology where business and technology really come together to lay out the enterprise roadmap. And that's I think a really interesting topic. And then of course we talk a little bit about cloud computing and the different types of cloud computing. I'd spend a little bit of time exploring this. And with any of these topics, whether it's enterprise architecture or it's cloud computing or any of the topics we're going to cover in Chapter 3 on data management, data knowledge, and business intelligence and reporting, if you have an interest in learning a little bit more, don't be dependent just on a textbook. We all have different learning styles. I would really encourage you to go out and look up a couple of different YouTube videos. Try to find some TED Talks of a topic that you want to learn more about or is maybe a bit unclear. As I said in my intro video, this is really your time to explore information technology, to explore the socio-technical area that we all interact with. And I just really encourage you to do that. So I'm in the process of starting to grade your week 1 assignments. I'll also be grading your week 1 Flipgrid discussions, as well as your week 1 discussions, and providing a little bit of feedback on an individual basis to each of you. For week 2, again, as I stated in my written summary for the week 2, we've got another discussion, and this is going to be a more traditional written discussion, so I've got some discussion starters created for you. We have an assignment, and so take a look at that. We've got a couple different paths you can choose for the assignment. One's an applied, and one's a case study. And then finally, we do have a quiz. I understand there may be some problems with the quiz. I want to go ahead and keep taking the quiz for now. I've looked through it. I don't see any inherent problems, but if anything comes up, please just let me know. Again, the last thing I would note is I have a discussion item there in the raise your hand or ask the class where we're talking about, so how's it going with Canvas? I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments or challenges you're having, and we can jump on there. Not to sit and complain and jump on and enjoy the complaining, but to point folks in the right directions if we're struggling in an area, if something's confusing to us, or something that just seems to be missing. Throw that question out there, and I and the rest of you can jump on and respond, and we can try to learn through this new system together. Well, thanks. Have a good week, and again, I'll talk to you probably early next week as we start week 3. Thank you.